The best part of winning a video game is the feeling of accomplishment you get when you watch the final cutscene and listen to the awesome music that plays as the credits scroll down your television screen. Whether the game ends happily or takes a more bittersweet turn, that last score is always an epic piece that you never forget, even years after you've beaten the game. That's why today I am counting down the top 10 credits themes in Nintendo games. And yes, I will be talking about the endings of the games, so if you don't want spoilers, I recommend you skip certain parts of the video. Starting off with number 10, Kirbys Return to Dreamland. Kirbys Return to Dreamland. This game really helped to rejuvenate the Kirby series as a whole and help introduce new players to the franchise. But what I really find interesting about it is its credits theme. The game has a pretty bittersweet ending, and you can hear that translated into the theme. It starts off with a tone of uncertainty, but later turns into a light-hearted reprise of the main theme. This gives a little bit of originality to the song, as it strays a bit from other mainstream Kirby games that end very joyfully and happy-go-lucky. Number 9, Metroid. I knew I had to put Metroid's credits somewhere on this list. They're very iconic because for most gamers it's when they first figured out that Samus is actually a girl. But this list isn't based off of the endings themselves, but rather the music played during them. So what's so good about this theme? Well, I specifically enjoyed it for the same reason as I enjoyed the theme from Kirby's Return to Dreamland. In my opinion, Metroid is generally a dark, depressing, and dare I say, scary game. Samus literally watches as her parents and many other people of her clan are killed by aliens when she's just a baby. So yeah, that's a pretty depressing backstory. The credits music, however, is very cheerful, and it kinda makes me happy to know that Samus is finally happy, having defeated Mother Brain and gotten revenge on the space pirates. Number 8, Pikmin 3. Pikmin is a game that's not very well known, although I feel it deserves much more popularity. Fans like me had to wait a long time for Pikmin 3, almost 10 years, but let me assure you, it was well worth the wait. Pikmin 3 was overall a great addition to the series that reintroduced the same concept from the first two games, but with remastered controls and graphics. This credits theme truly is a great ending to a great game. Pikmin endings are always bittersweet, but you really get the feels when the Pikmin start singing near the end of this song. Number 7, Super Mario 64. Super Mario 64 DS was the first video game I ever played in my life. As such, going back and listening to the music from the game is very nostalgic for me. When I played as a kid, I realized that the graphics weren't really the best, so I turned to the music. In fact, the music was probably my favorite part of the game overall. Also, being my first video game, it was pretty challenging for me and it took me forever to beat it. That's probably why I felt so good when I got to hear the credits theme finally. It has a few sections that sound similar to other tracks in the games, like Dire Dire Docks. Overall, it's a beautiful, upbeat, and uplifting song that wraps up the game with a perfect ending. Number 6, The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. This game, although considered to be a remake of Link to the Past, seems less like a remake than Ocarina of Time 3D and Wind Waker HD are to me. That being said, I really enjoyed this game and even replayed it to get all of the Maiamais. The thing I love most about its credit theme is that it uses so many different instruments, including but not limited to trumpet, violin, bagpipes, human voices, music box, trombone, bass drum, and cymbals. And at the very end of the song, some nature ambiance plays while Link returns the Master Sword to the stone in the forest. This gives a peaceful and fulfilling end to the game. Number 5, Splatoon. Splatoon is so great because it's one of the first Nintendo games in quite a while to be separated from any of Nintendo's other main franchises. And, unless you count Metroid, it's Nintendo's only major shooting game. Splatoon's music has its own very unique style, much different from all other Nintendo games. It uses a lot of squid vocals and upbeat drums and sounds. This last song, however, takes it slow, which is a nice break from all the fast-paced intensity of the game. Overall, Splatoon's story mode was a lot better than I thought it would be, and I think this was a nice way to end it all. Number 4, Super Mario Galaxy. Super Mario Galaxy is a very iconic game. For me, it's also very nostalgic because it was one of my first Wii games. The music is absolutely incredible in this game, as it is recorded from a live orchestra. The credits theme here is the epitome of the feeling of accomplishment that I mentioned earlier. This song is a reprise, including many sections from other tracks in the game. The instrumentation is excellent and it all adds up to being a beautiful ending piece. Number 3, Super Mario Land. Super Mario Land isn't exactly the first thing you think of when you imagine a mainstream Mario game, which is one of the reasons why I love it so much. I can't describe this one's theme as I did with Super Mario Galaxies because it was made in a generation of beeps and boops, not orchestra music. But something about the sound of this theme makes you feel this indescribable feeling. I can't tell if it's sadness, nostalgia, joy, confusion, hope, or any mixture of those. But I can say it's beautiful in its own special 8-bit way. Number 2, Luigis Mansion. I personally admire this game. It was one of the best-selling games for the GameCube, but yet it was so different than any other game from the Mario franchise. In fact, I don't even know if I'm supposed to count it as part of the Mario franchise. For once, it debuted Luigi as the main protagonist and Mario as the damsel in distress. That makes me, personally, as a Luigi fan, excited. One of my favorite things about this game is how much you can replay it. Like, seriously, the replayability level of this game is incredible. And every time you do replay it, you get to hear one of the most upbeat credits themes ever. Honorable mentions. Before I announce the number 1 credits theme, I want to list off a few honorable mentions. Songs that were good, but just not quite good enough for me to include. Super Mario World, Super Mario Bros. 2 and 3, Earthbound, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, and Pokemon Black and White. Coming in at number 1. Mario and Luigi, Bowser's Inside Story. Whew, I just cannot stop with the nostalgia, can I? Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story was another one of my first DS games, but I must say I loved it so much more than any of my other games. Something about it being different than just your average Mario platformer made me grow to appreciate it so much. And I must say, this game has one of my all-time favorite soundtracks. The sounds are a bit different than the sounds from mainstream Mario music, giving it a totally fresh and lively feeling. As for the credits, Nintendo's given us another reprise, but this one is a bit different. It includes themes from all the areas of the game, letting you relive your entire journey in just a mere 3.5 minutes. It quite literally wraps up the whole game into one song, and now I'm gonna let it wrap up this video. Bye.